my NFL Combine winners and losers. These are grades. These are takeaways. This is who improved their stock the most. All the stuff that draftniks like to talk about that really is how we talk about football when there's no football to be played. So let's start with a winner. Everybody's winner. The guy that I said going into the Combine could do some winning, J.J. McCarthy. Coming out of Michigan, 15-0 last year, right? Has a tremendous record as a winner and a quarterback. But it always felt like JJ's 5-star status was never actually a thing he had to prove, but something he got to flash, right? You could see it the way he would run away from defenders when the play broke down. You could see him making plays out of structure, but they didn't have a lot of plays out of structure. They were a power run team. They ran a lot of gap scheme. They ran a lot of duo. They like to get their double teams, and they like to take a lot of pressure off the quarterback to make a third read. So that's just what the offense is. I said, show up and be J.J. McCarthy, right? The reason that he didn't rate as highly on my draft board or anybody else's for that matter is because we hadn't seen any of the things that he showed at the NFL Combine. Arm strength, charisma, foot speed, right? J.J. McCarthy impressed the hell out of me on a number of occasions. One is he showed he can make that layered throw, right? Which is one that we don't get to see a lot of quarterbacks make. And I'll mention that when we talk about Jaden Daniels in a bit. But he showed that he can be accurate, and he showed arm strength. Like, I went into this thinking Bazooka Joe Milton's got the strongest arm of anybody playing college football last year, right? Maybe Michael Penix Jr. gives him a bit of a run for his money. And then Bazooka Joe threw a football 62 miles per hour. J.J. McCarthy followed up, throwing 161 miles per hour. That is tremendous arm speed. Now, sometimes he would rifle a pass during the season that he need to rifle. But it is nice to know that you can throw a football as far as you need to throw a football given the opportunity. I think that he has done so much to help himself vault into that conversation of, do we take that guy after Caleb Williams? And if we don't, when do we take that guy? As opposed to, if he falls to the second round, somebody's going to snatch him, right? Now you got to think about getting in there in the first 20, 15 picks if you're in the market absolutely for a quarterback. J.J. McCarthy helped himself out tremendously. Xavier Worthy, goodness me. Last week when we talked about, NFL Combine and stuff, I was thinking Rome Odunze could help himself with a very fast 40 time or a fast cone drill. And, he showed that he wanted to work because he stayed out there trying to drop a time from 6.88 to 6.6 and just couldn't get down there. Also, charisma. He's asked, hey, dog, you got to land this plane that's going down. Can you land? He said, no, all souls have perished. I love that because that's honest, right? I remember going through my Eagle Scout border review. They're like, hey, RJ, somebody breaks a leg. What are you going to do? I'm going to stay there with him. I'm sending somebody else to go get help. You're not going to try to, fix the leg? No, what do I look like? I'm not no paramedic. I'm 14. What are we talking about? I love that sort of honor and charisma and attitude from Rome Odunze. But Xavier Worthy went out here and said, y'all must have forgot on his Roy Jones Jr. Like, I saw the man return kicks. I saw the man return punts. I saw the man take the top off the defense. But my God, did I not see 4.21? You broke the NFL Combine record in the 40-yard dash, which evaluators don't like to talk about. They don't win. How many times are you going to have to run in a straight line 40 yards without anybody touching you? I get that part. I get it. But I ran track in college. And I watched the World Indoor Championships this past weekend. And I got to tell you, 4.21 out of Xavier Worthy is the kind of stuff that wins you a world championship. Christian Coleman ran 6.41 in the 60-meter dash to win the world championship, right? That is fast. But if Xavier Worthy could hold that 40-yard time that he showed for 60 meters, we're talking about him going about 6.30. Stupid. Is stupid speed. So if you're looking at a guy that already showed himself that if you drafted him in the first round, nobody would really blink at you. But now gets to talk about himself as, no, I'm the guy you want to take after you take Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm the guy you want to take if Brock Bowers is not there. Because you look at what Zay Flowers meant to the Baltimore Ravens, and you look at what the small, fast dude means in the sport, Tyreek Hill at wide receiver, that's now Xavier Worthy. He is a better wide receiver from the jump than John Ross was, and he is 1/100th of a second faster. I can't tell you how quickly I'm going to go get that guy if I need a wide receiver. And he played in the college football playoff, and he helped lead Texas to a Big 12 championship. Dog, at times when Quinn Ewers was not that dude, Xavier Worthy was, okay? I'm here for it. I am absolutely on the Xavier Worthy bandwagon right now. Okay, let's get to my first loser on the list. I'm going to go with LSU quarterback and Heisman winner Jaden Daniels. He didn't throw. I thought he should have. The reason I thought he should have is he could have shown what J.J. McCarthy did, right? Everybody says that, and we mostly agree Caleb Williams will be the first pick in the NFL draft and the first player off the board because he's the best quarterback. However, I think what JJ did was also show himself to be team-oriented, the kind of family face you want to get behind, right? I think Jaden Daniels is that guy too. We all love him. Matter of fact, people will stand on a table to fight being like, what do you mean he's not the second or third guy off the board? Look, dog, I got 4 years of Jaden Daniels film and 1 year of absolutely ridiculous film. I don't know what Jaden Daniels is going to do in the NFL because I didn't know he was capable of doing what he did last year, which putting together the best statistical season we have seen from a quarterback in quite some time. Now, let's talk about why that is. Okay? Show me that you can make these layered throws. Show me that you can be accurate. Michael Penix Jr. is out there throwing. You can be out there throwing. Also, you were throwing the football to 2 of the 6, 7 best wide receivers in college football last year, and this is a very deep wide receiver class. Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. on the end of passes he was throwing. That's not a small thing, right? Especially when I talk about Drake May, who had Josh Downs in 2022 and J.J. Jones in 2023. Chaz Walker after they cleared him 2023. It's really discussion around the same one I had about Jalen Hurts, the same one that I had about, well, a long time ago when I was in college. Russell Wilson would be arguing about this at the dinner table. I'd be telling people I'd be doing this anyway, right? I said that he's either Lamar Jackson or he is Johnny Manziel earlier. I understand it's pushback on that, right? But it's more about what do you do when the play breaks down and how quickly do you want to use your feet to fix a problem? There were times during the year last year where it felt like all Jaden Daniels needed to do was move around a little bit more, let Brian Thomas Jr. or Malik Neighbors break free and hit them. What he decided to do was pull the ball down and run. Now, that works in college where not everybody is as fast as you are. But in the NFL, where you got Myles Garrett coming off the edge, who is faster than you and bigger than you, that's not something you're going to be able to do, right? I think it's really, can that guy make those passes over the middle of the field? Will he utilize the middle of the field? This is not something Jalen Hurts was doing at Alabama or Oklahoma and didn't really do great at Philly until a little bit later on in the career when they started to make that run toward the Super Bowl. But I think when you're talking about him, your high end is Russell Wilson, right? But Russell Wilson with Seattle when he was helping, lead that team to a Super Bowl. Your low end is Justin Fields, which is not really a low end, but he going to get on everybody's nerves or seems to be getting on people's nerves in Chicago. I don't get that part. I think Justin Fields can play just like I think Jaden Daniels can play. I just don't like Jaden Daniels more than I like Drake May. I think Drake May's creativity and his build and his size at the upper echelon of his play is Josh Allen at peak, right? Like when Josh Allen ain't just throwing a football to nobody for no reason or making a stupid play, he's outstanding. 6'4", he can fly, right? He can shake people off of him. The other thing about him is when Drake May is operating on a cerebral level, I'm going to just throw out CJ Stroud, who's a guy that got dinged for not running enough. But if you've seen CJ work through reads and you hear how quarterbacks talk about CJ Stroud, Drake May can create inside of that structure and out of structure. He's as gifted on the outside as Jaden Daniels, and I've got lots of film to show consistency. I don't have a lot of film to show consistency of Jaden Daniels, and I'm just going to say getting knocked out of the game against Alabama didn't make me feel good, and seeing him get ragdolled because LSU's offensive line was atrocious don't make me feel good either, right? He's also older than some of these guys going in. I just thought that if he threw, he could have helped himself and put away a lot of my concerns the way that J.J. McCarthy did. Okay. Now, another winner I had was Michael Penix Jr., who showed everybody just how good he is at throwing that ball downfield. Lefty or no, like that ball was tight coming out of his hand. He out there with the purple do-rag being himself. He got to show charisma. He got to show the kind of player that he has been since getting back to Washington and really answer the questions about his injury concern, right? Like that's the other reason the NFL Combine is such a big deal. Like you need more than what they got at Lucas Oil. You can send him down the road, get another MRI. Didn't raise any red flags given what kind of injuries he's had in the past. That's huge. That's a win. Like if Michael Penix Jr. was available in the same draft as Kenny Pickett. I'm standing on the table telling everybody to draft Michael Penix Jr. before you draft Kenny Pickett, and that's first round draft pick, right? And then finally, my last winner, Chop Robinson, Penn State linebacker, 254 pounds, 6'3", ran sub 4.5 in the 40, broad jump 10.8. The freaks that come out of Penn State are many, right? Notably, my guy, Micah Parsons, who Dallas kind of landed on, right? They weren't in the market for Micah Parsons. He was the best available. Turns out that is the best player in the NFL on defense for me. That dude could do anything he wants because he is a physical freak. He can line up anywhere he wants. Chop Robinson has that same versatility. When he was healthy, he was going. He made that defense great. Now, I understand they had Manny Diaz calling plays who was in his bag in 2023, and he had some help on the outside, but I really think that Chop Robinson has worked himself into that top 25 conversation and top 32 conversation as far as being drafted on day one. Would not shock me to see him continue to climb up the boards as we get closer and closer to the NFL draft.
If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.